Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of Canadian Geekcast. This is episode 39. Yeah. We're getting close to that big 4-0.
Yeah.
And it's all downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And then our hair starts falling out and... Okay.
You're talking about a time point that's very soonish for you guys.
Go on, what else happens?
I don't know.
Nah, I can't even get into it.
People's hair falls out at 40? I've been lied to.
My friend started at 18.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was bald by 19.
Actually, it really depends on your genetics, because my grandfather still had hair when he was 90. So
that's true.
I'm just getting gray hairs already. I have the genes. Yeah, apparently my family's the genes where we go gray super early, so that's fun.
My beard went from being like red to having 2 streaks of white to like this disaster in 2 years.
I think it looks good.
You're rocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm something at.
Oh, if this is the first time you've ever tuned into our little show here, we are 5 Canadians that likes to get together every week, or pretty much every week, to talk about the latest video games, movies, TV news, and whatever kind of geeky things catch our interest. We make our podcast available pretty much wherever you can find podcasts. It's also available on YouTube as well, and you can also grab us live on Mixer and Twitch. I think we're still trying to hopefully get onto YouTube gaming streaming there as well, but that's proving to be a little difficult.
One day.
Yeah, YouTube as a platform is trash now anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you like what you see, or if you want to throw any comments or questions at us, you can tweet at us at CanadianGeekCST or shoot us an email at CanadianGeekCST@gmail.com, and we may even read it on the next show. So I am your returning host, Matt, and was off working last week. That's why I wasn't here. But it was a great show, guys. I listened to it, and I absolutely loved it. It was really good.
We don't need you.
Steve.
It was a great show, guys. Joining me today is Steve.
Hello.
And we got Steph.
Hello, what's up, everybody?
And Josh.
Hi.
And Dennis.
Hello.
I know in our little group chat I said I was going to come up with call signs for all you guys because I've been on like a...
Nah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Crashed and burned.
You failed us. Get off. Give it back to Steve.
It's okay. I'll still try and come up with aviation-related puns throughout the episode, though.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, Goose.
So, before we kind of get into the meat of this episode, looks like we just have our default question of the week, which is what have you been watching or playing in the past week? So, who would like to go first?
Definitely looks like she's got something to say.
No skate.
Steph.
Oh, damn it. What have I been doing this week? I've been playing a lot of Wonder Song. Because we decided internally at work that we were going to play a game, and every 2 weeks we would discuss it, kind of like a book club. So Wonder Song is our first one, and for people who haven't played it or know what it is, it's all about you're a bard and you're trying to sing your way through everything. So it's just really cool because you have like a little wheel thing. You have to hit your different notes for different things, and the way they integrate it differently in so many different ways is just it's really something. And the writing on it is really, really good, and it just seems really human. I bought it on Switch, and there's a couple of graphical issues with it, but really rough looking pixels, and it just it's a little rough around the edges when it comes to the visuals, but it's everything else makes me keep playing the game. I've gone past where we're supposed to play for the game club, so that's the thing. I went back into Minecraft. I don't know, I just got the itch. I got the itch. I saw a YouTuber playing it. I heard the little chest noise, and I was like, I need to play immediately. So yeah, and then I started watching The Sinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how I feel
we're
about
considering it. Okay.
What's The Sinner?
Like going through
So The Sinner-
a lot of the same shit that
Okay.
most people do and that sort of thing.
Yeah. This isn't a spoiler because it happens in the first episode, but this woman kills a man, and then the entire series is trying to figure out why she killed him.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. It just there's some themes in it that I'm like, I don't know. Towards the end, it made me extremely uncomfortable. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a thing that I'm not personally comfortable with. And I think the whole series is meant to kind of make you uncomfortable. Like it's got this like weird, like it just wants to make you uncomfortable feeling. I don't know how to describe it.
Sure.
Don't watch it with kids around. It's very R-rated.
Is it?
In multiple ways, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still gonna finish the first season. I don't know if I'm gonna continue after that.
It's on season 2 now, right? Or just finished?
2, yeah. It's starting 2, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not really in that mind space for something where it's like I really have to pay attention to things and it's like super serious. I'm much more back into, like The Good Places started back up and Brooklyn Nine-Nine started. And what's the other one we're watching? I'm back into Criminal Minds again. I caught up and watching that. What else is there? What else? There's something else that's weekly. Oh, Riverdale.
Oh yeah.
My favorite Golden Trash show returns. Yeah. So I don't know. It feels like I've been busy and watching a lot of stuff. So
Solid.
Distracts you from the crap going on in the world.
yeah. I just want fun stuff that I can have a good laugh, and that's The Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine for me. Like that stuff is so good. And I think we've talked about it on the show before. I'm like really tough when it comes to like humor that I actually find funny. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Good Place gets me. Like it's so funny.
Nice. Quick aside, earlier I mentioned that we were hoping to get on YouTube. Apparently we are now streaming on YouTube.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I noticed in our chat it's connected to 3 networks. I'm like, pulled up our YouTube channel. It says we're live. So
Steph somehow figured that out and didn't even know.
Yeah.
Secret genius.
Awesome. That's why we love you, Steph. Steve, what have you been up to in the past week?
So on the gaming side, I think the only thing I've been really putting time into was Ace Combat 7. I did it for a review, and surprisingly, I really enjoyed it. It was a game that I had really no expectations for. I don't think I've played an Ace Combat game since, I want to say it was 5 that came out on the 360.
Yeah.
And that was, what?
15? Or no, sorry, 5 was on the PS2. 4, 5, and Ace Combat 0 were on the PS2. 6 and was it Skies of Liberation, which were on 360 and PS3.
Okay, so it must have been 6. So that's like what, 12 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah, but I jumped in. I played a couple hours. I was like, I don't really know if I'm feeling it. And then the day after, I put in a lot of time, and just the campaign itself is just a lot of fun. I don't really care for the narrative of it. It's a little dry or whatever.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, just the radio chatter and everything going on. I really didn't care for it whatsoever. But the gameplay itself is so solid. I don't think I've played like a flight combat simulator, what have you, that good before. It's a genre of a game I never really was attached to. Anytime I played it with like a flight stick on computer, on PC back in the day, it was just not a good experience. So playing one that I actually enjoyed was quite surprising for me. And playing it on PS4, I played the VR missions, and aside from the motion sickness, that is just a ton of fun. Being able to just like lean over the side, see the water beneath you, see the sky above you, and everything. Everything's tracked via the headset itself, so you're looking and trying to target enemy ships and everything. there's only 3 missions. I really hope that in the future they update it with some more, but I highly doubt they will. But those 3 missions are just a ton of fun if you can get past the barrel rolls and motion.
I'm so jealous. I am so jealous. I would love to try try the VR missions.
Yeah. If you ever do get a chance, or like for people listening, if it's like you know someone that has a game in the VR, like definitely try it out, because it's an experience. It's something that you're not gonna. It's something totally different than playing the game just with the DualShock or like a flight stick. It's pretty sweet.
It's the Vomit Comet.
It's the vomit. For sure. Like I was talking to you guys like in the group chat. I've never gotten motion sickness from VR, even playing like games with locomotion, and I went from missions tend to be around 10 minutes to 15, somewhere in that window of time. I was fine the whole way through, and then I just made like one like dip motion or something, and I could feel like my whole body just go cold. I got the sweats. I was like, this has to wrap up real quick, because I'm not gonna make it. Like I remember, because the checkpoint system's not that great in the game. Like if you crash it, you start at the very beginning. So I was like, I gotta finish this, because I do not want to redo this whole mission again. So I was taking like little like 10-second like breaks of like closing my eyes and just be like, okay, I got this. Open my eyes, shoot an enemy, close my eyes, do that. And I was like, okay, it's done. It's done. Take the exactly. Take the headset off. I was like, whew, okay. But it is a ton of fun. It really is.
I know what that's like only too well. It sucks. It sucks, dude.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
And like Josh, you always bring it up. Like you get it just from regular locomotion. It doesn't have to be like stomach turning, right? Like what games have you played?
What's out? I've like Doom.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Okay.
Skyrim got a lot of people though. Holy smokes.
Yeah. No, I can see why. Trust me. Resident Evil, I didn't surprisingly have any trouble with. That one I was like, oh my god, I can play Resident Evil. This is great. I think maybe I kicked this thing, and then fast forward to Gran Turismo, and I turned and looked at the car about to pass me. I'm like, ugh. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
And
so it definitely
everything
seems to be with like the pace of it. Resident Evil's a slower game in terms of movement. So
yeah, but it's still the movement when you when you do like those like quick quarter, like those quick little jitter turns.
Yeah,
that drives me mental. I can't. I don't like that at all. I still haven't tried that. Like my brother got me this this wristband. It's supposed to help with it. I still haven't tried it because honestly, I'm too afraid of it.
Yeah,
because it literally ruined my day the last time I did that. Like I felt it all. I felt it all afternoon. It was not fun, and I'd like to try to enjoy what I have left of Sunday today.
Yeah, I played Redout in VR, and it took me like a minute to get used to it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Which one?
Redout. It's like a really like fast-paced racing game, kind of.
Didn't that come to Switch as well?
I don't know. I have it on PC.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's like imagine the old like racing pod games. It's kind of like that kind of speed in VR. It feels so cool, but it took me a good minute to be like, oh, need to adjust. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, the only VR I've ever done is Google Cardboard.
Man, you haven't tried VR then?
Yeah.
No. Well,
it's a wild ride.
I did a VR game like 15, 20 years ago, and like back when there was actual arcades.
Yeah.
One that had the VR, and like you were in the middle of a thing, you had a virtual gun, and you could turn and walk and everything. I think I lasted 30 seconds before I was killed. So, yeah, I asked in chat if anyone else got VR experience. Queen Jen just says Google Cardboard, and I think that's probably on par. Most people, if they've done VR, I wouldn't be surprised it's been Google Cardboard.
Yeah, if you guys don't have VR cafes near you, like you should definitely go check them out. That's how I kind of got my first. Like I did Oculus and Cardboard. Like I'd done an Oculus demo before, and I had done Google Cardboard, but my first like true VR experience where I like really got to take it for a run was a VR cafe.
Yeah,
and that's what I was like this is cool, but I don't know if I want to spend 25 grand or whatever it is like to get the machine and then the headset and everything, and then but yeah, VR cafes are really cool.
Yeah, I think I've only tried VR once, and it was amazing. It was on like a really expensive machine, and like just like these VR controllers and the HTC Vive. It was like really awesome. I don't know if I can get motion sickness from VR. I don't personally have one, so I really don't know.
Sure,
but I think right now, like as far as like PlayStation VR, I don't really want to test it out right now because my PlayStation 4 is like I don't think it will handle that at all. So
yeah,
you'd be surprised. Mine runs like a jet engine and it still can handle VR.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I want to see that next iteration in the next generation, just to to see if it's like you could say like it's not that bad right now, but I kind of want
it to be better.
Just that better experience.
Yeah,
I don't want to like throw whatever amount of money just to not get the experience I can wait for. So
for sure.
Anything else, Steve?
And then just in terms of stuff I've been watching, the new season of True Detective started. Really digging the 2 episodes that aired last week. We talked about it last week a little bit, but Sex Education, what a show. I finished the first season. So good, great. It's so good. So good. And then on Friday, Netflix released their documentary on the Fire Festival. That gong show of music and
the
like lifestyle thing. Yeah, the one that happened in like the Bahamas and just ruined all those people's lives. I really recommend checking it out. It's super interesting. Just the way that they lied to thousands of people and scammed people out of their money, and oh boy, it's a wild ride. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's really interesting. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. On our chat, we've got Scratch, who is watching us on Mixer, saying so he says just about VR. He says, yeah, wearing VR headsets are disorienting. So you can fall down without Google Cardboard too. So you don't need VR just to be able to fall. Oh, that was Steph. Sorry, I thought was
no, because he said Scratch said that we could fall. I heard you can fall down wearing Google Cardboard. I said yeah, but you can fall down without Google Cardboard too.
Yeah,
but it is really really disorienting to wear a VR headset. Like we'll talk about it more later with Steve and I. But yeah, it is disorienting. You're like, I don't know where I am. Like.
Yeah, Queen Jen on Twitch says because she's pouting because they don't really have anything in Kansas aside from, she says, the Chiefs Stadium, Science City at Union Station, and Worlds of Fun, and tornadoes.
Ooh, I like tornadoes.
And she says, trust me, I've heard in my lifetime of anti-gen. There's a twister.
Nice.
Yeah. Josh, what have you been up to?
I'm just kind of waiting for Resident Evil 2 to come out. So I've been polishing my swearing skills on Call of Duty Blackout and getting into that. We almost got a W last night, my team. Seems to be like the story of my life with them. We almost got a W. We keep getting like 3rd, 5th, 2nd place. We just can't squeeze it out. Anyway, today's going to be the day. And I haven't been watching much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did watch something. I just don't remember what it was. So I guess
something super memorable.
Yeah. Oh, also I've been playing the Assassin's Creed DLC. Thanks for spoiling it, Steph. Excuse me.
Sorry, look, I had no idea when that stuff happened. I just there's controversy, and then I thought it was older than that. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
It's like I just finished downloading it, drops the bomb, like, oh. All right.
I have no idea because I don't play the series, and I had no idea. I have not connected at all to Assassin's Creed, so I had no idea when it came out or like what it was about. I felt so bad.
You're still my buddy. You're still my buddy.
I felt so bad when you said that. I was like, oh no.
That's okay. Next time I get to see a movie before you do, I'm telling you what happens.
All right, it's only fair.
I think that's it. Nothing too crazy. Just living life and doing my thing.
Cool. Dennis?
Nothing video game related right now. School, there's so much work has to be done. I have to take I have to go up to people and ask for their photo, and I have to do that 25 times. So I'm not looking forward to that.
I still think you should just use Spider-Man's photo mode.
I can't do that.
It looks realistic enough.
Yeah, just say that you took a trip to New York.
Exactly. It's a filter you've applied that makes everybody look CGI.
Yeah, I can't do it. For one thing, I don't have a passport, so I can't do that. So I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna
do a passport.
I don't have a passport.
I have one. It's expired.
I've been across like the border, but that was like before 9/11. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the days where I used to sit on the pilot's lap is gone, especially now. Because
I'm sure you could still swing it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the pilot would take it another way now. So. Anyway, school complaints out of the way. TV-wise, I've been trying to catch up on a lot of things. So, like, season 5 of Gotham started, and it's off to like a great start. It's very Mad Max-ish because like Gotham is a quarantine zone right now. So, and there's like all these. Sure. Anyway. Also, I've been watching Young Justice Season 3, and that is a really great season. It's been like a 5 to 6 year wait for this season, and it's really great. Episode 4 in particular is so cheesy. It's great. I love that because like it's just like it's just an episode surrounded around the Bow Hunters Security, which is a security firm that was started by Roy Harper with his 2 clones. That makes sense, but probably doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like so cheesy. Like part of the episode, the clones and him and Dick Grayson are walking the car, and there's like this cheesy music, just like in slow motion. It's just like, oh, this is good. This is good. Yeah, and then like they're gonna go through the season so fast because they're doing 3 episodes a week, and I think they're gonna be finished this month. So it's great. And I've been watching
schedule.
Yeah, it is quite a schedule. I thought they were just going to do 1 episode a week, but I guess they got something planned for February, so... Or they just want to go through the episodes fast. And, yeah, I watched through Kim's Convenience.
Oh, so good.
So, and the 3rd season just started this month, so I've been watching through those, too.
Yeah, that's the other one.
I have to give it another try.
It's really good, man. I like it. It kind of has, like, this corner gas vibe to me.
Yeah, I only partially watched some of the first episode, and at the time I was like, it's all right. But I've been hearing lots and lots of good things about it, so I think I'll have to give it another go. I mean, it took me 4 attempts to get into The Office, so.
Yeah, I could never get into it.
But you guys are crazy.
Me neither.
You guys are nuts.
Yeah,
it's just Michael Scott just rubbed me the wrong way for the longest time, but. Yeah, Kim's Convenience.
It's good.
I love it. That's my other weekly that I unfairly forgot about. Because I think there's only been 1 episode.
It's on the 2nd episode.
Oh, yeah, I missed the last one, so.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Yeah, and, Steph brought up Riverdale. That was an ending for that episode, so I'm not going to mention anything else. Watching The Good Place. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which... That first episode... It's not bad. It's just like when I was watching the episode, like the first scene, I like noticed that they were using like handheld cams, and I didn't like it. But when they got into the second episode,
shaky.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But in the second episode, it was less noticeable. So
see, for me, it was completely opposite. We were watching the second episode, and every single shot all I could fixate on was like the jump zooms that they do like when each character talks. I was like, have they always done this like this much?
Oh,
I mean,
I've not noticed.
Once you notice it, that's all you can see.
Thanks for ruining it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And like, you know, watching The Good Place, see where they're going with maybe the next season, but and watch Star Trek Discovery. I've been watching a lot. Star Trek Discovery season 2 started, so
I haven't. That's my tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Discovery. So
yeah, it's good. And yeah, Orville's good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of TV, and hoping to get into The Punisher sometime.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. Good so far.
Nice.
That's all I've been watching.
Nice. Well, I have. So I've been playing. I've only had a couple games on my list. I've been playing fitness boxing on the Switch. Because my wife and I are trying to be healthier and exercise and everything. And so she's a couple days ahead of me in terms of like consecutive days exercising, but it's surprisingly good. I don't know.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I absolutely. I haven't hated a fitness game or like movement track game on Kinect since.
Oh really?
Anything really? It's probably my worst one I've ever tried.
Oh, I mean, it's got its faults, but it's making me be active and everything. So you know, and kind of like that. I
wish there was a way to calibrate it, because the way that I do the punches, it doesn't register properly for half of them.
Yeah, and that's what I find. Like when I get towards the end of a workout, my arms are just so tired that certain punches, whether it's like an uppercut or a side, sometimes don't register, and it's because I'm not snapping the Joy-Con enough, so the accelerometer is not registering that. But a straight or a jab seems to register okay. But yeah, I do agree with you there that I kind of wish that it could be calibrated properly. I'm on my second trainer. I'm going to go through all the trainers and everything. I tried I think her name was Laura, the Australian. I did one workout and then I switched away. Just the accent was just kind of annoyed me a little bit. But when my wife walked into the room, when I started, she took one look. She's like, "Wow, she's got huge tracts of land." The model is very well endowed.
Nice.
That's where all the fat goes.
Yeah. And so I started. She's like, "Focus," and I'm like, "I am focusing." She's like, "No, on the punches." Like, honestly, the speed that the punches move, you can't focus on anything else but the punches. Because even if you look away for a second, you're gonna miss stuff just because of how fast it comes up. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that, and like Steve, Ace Combat 7. I've been so excited for this game ever since I saw the first trailer a couple years ago. And yeah, I'm loving it. I've got a Thrustmaster HOTAS, so the hands-on throttle and stick, so I've got a joystick and everything for it, which is absolutely amazing. I'm only on, I think, the 5th mission right now in the main campaign. Mm-hmm. But last night I did some online, and that's surprisingly... I was actually surprised at the online. I thought it was pretty good. It's very fast, mm-hmm. and even though it's only 4-on-4, like there's a lot of action going on. So it's really, I quite liked it. I just wish there'd be more people that would actually use voice. But yeah,
is it meeting your expectations? Because I know you were really stoked on it.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yep, I would say so. I'd say it definitely meets my expectations. Well, 90%. It's not a 4K game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That I was actually really disappointed in when I found that out, that it's not 4K. Really? I think a game like that would be absolutely gorgeous 4K, you know, and HDR and everything. So maybe we'll get a 4K patch. I mean, we got that for other games. where they brought out 4K assets and everything. So, yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing game wise. Been watching the Orville. Start up Star Trek Discovery tomorrow night. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, resume that. And yeah, that's about it. Glad to have Orville, well, those 3 shows back, so something really good to watch. But
solid.
Yeah. Well, shall we take off and start topic 2? No, topic 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've not even started yet, Matt. Come on.
Let's start the show.
Yeah. All right.
30 minutes in, let's start. Let's go.
All right, so our topic 1 is our quick news. We've got 3 topics today. Our first one is we're getting another Ghostbusters movie. Only this time it is actually being directed by Jason Reitman. Is that how you pronounce it? Reitman?
Yeah.
Reitman. So if that name sounds familiar, that's Ivan Reitman's kid, who directed the first 2 Ghostbusters movies. So his offspring has taken up the gauntlet and is going to revive the series. This one is actually going to kind of ignore the, what was it, 2016 movie, and kind of ignore everything that happened in that one. And this one is going to pick up where Ghostbusters 2, or pick up after the events of Ghostbusters 2. So it's going to kind of keep that timeline going. Not sure if any of the original cast are going to make any cameos or reprise their roles or anything like that. It'd be nice to have cameos, but
I'm sure we'll see them.
Oh yeah,
at least so. A couple of them anyway. But yeah.
There was a teaser trailer that got released a couple days ago, which the hype, I think that kind of exploded a lot of hype. I don't want to spoil the teaser trailer. I just want, because even though it's only, how long was it? It was only
like a minute and a half.
Like a minute and a half, maybe. It's okay to talk about it. It's been out long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's giving away anything from the movie, right? Like, it's true. Just a teaser trailer, and it's just
setting
like
the tone.
It's just to build up hype.
That's okay. Yeah, that's true. So it starts off. It looks like it's in fall. You're kind of like out in a farm. It's just windy, and then you hear like the. Would that have been the sound from the proton pack?
Yeah,
proton pack.
Yeah.
And you hear like somebody's tinkering with it or something, like with tools.
Yeah, and you see like the flashing and everything, and it's that Telltale Ghostbusters theme. Is like the kind of spooky one that starts playing, and you go closer and closer into this barn, more and more flashes, and then you see something covered by a tarp, and the back end of the tarp flips up, and you see Ecto 1. It's the back of the original.
And the logo is there.
It was so good.
And everything. And then that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
It was so good.
I know. Yeah. So.
No, but then you hear the sound of the proton pack spinning up and staying on.
Yes, that's what it was. That's how it ended. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was a really good teaser. That had me super pumped. Apparently he was on Kevin Smith's podcast, I guess, last week. And Kevin Smith had asked him, I guess, before they started. He's like, "Well, he goes, listen, don't say anything about it, because as soon as I'm done here, I'm leaving to go film a teaser trailer for the movie that I'm going to be on." And he's like, "Oh, really?" Yeah. So he had to like keep it on the DL during the podcast. But yeah, I'm sure Kevin Smith is probably crapping his pants with excitement on that.
Oh,
too.
he's cool. Yeah.
I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I love the series. That last one was not good. I can only sit through like half an hour of it. I'm glad we're skipping it, pretending like it was just a bad dream, and moving on. So let's do this.
Treat it like the cartoon. There was the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
There we go.
Something like that.
Yeah. Leslie Jones, right? Yeah. She voiced her disappointment and like she wasn't very happy that this was happening, claiming that sounds like something Trump would do.
Asinine comment to make. That's ridiculous.
It just sounds like a begrudging employee who's not getting another gig.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We'll see.
And the rumors are saying that it's going to probably be like a real young cast, like we're talking Stranger Things type thing.
Makes sense.
Got to get those multiple sequels out of them.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Get them while they're young.
I'm okay with that though. Like if they want to bring in 4 or 5 kids, and you know, like between the ages of 10 and 13 or 10 and 16, whatever, go for it. Let them take the reins. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Just make it good.
Just make it good. That's right. Make it good, and don't discount what the groundwork that was created by the original 2.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Any other comments? Nope.
No.
All right.
Nah.
All right. Our next quick news is everyone's the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is we've got a teaser teaser trailer for the new Spider-Man movie Far From Home. And man, I'd say that looks pretty awesome.
Looks
yeah,
great.
Tom Holland is such a good Spider-Man. I honestly love him as Spider-Man.
He's so wholesome and lovely.
He is good.
Enjoyable.
He is. So I don't know. I've been hearing stuff on both sides. One that this takes place before Infinity War, and then stuff that says it takes place after Infinity War.
Yeah, you could take it either way.
I'm taking it after.
Yeah, it's definitely after for me.
I'll tell you why.
Please.
Yeah, no. There's nothing concrete. Obviously, they did a lot of work for, editing out. Like I brought up the thing that they edited out all the years out of Peter's passport. They're clearly doing it because it's going to attract a conversation, and that they don't want to spoil whether or not it does.
Which makes sense.
The only thing I can think of is you're coming off of a large scale movie like Endgame. If they put this before Infinity War, and like Josh, you were talking about, what if this movie ends up being ends with them being on the bus that you see Peter in Infinity War. Then at the end of the day, this movie doesn't really do anything to progress the storyline, which is something that we need.
Yeah.
After Endgame, we had something that was similar with Ant-Man and the Wasp taking place around the same time as Infinity War. That was great. That was a good supplement for coming off of Infinity War. I don't think they can do that again with Far From Home. They need to progress the storyline. They need to show us what the ramifications of Endgame are in this world. I just don't think that they can pull a move just being like, wait until 2020 to see how this world exists. After,
I think they can.
You think so?
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Because I suspect that there's going to be something something's going to happen in Infinity War, not Infinity War, Endgame, and it's going to be a bit of a down note, and people are going to want to have something a little more lighthearted, and for that, to cleanse the palate a little bit before we see where things go after that. I'm not even sure what's supposed to be coming out next year. I think all I see is untitled Marvel movie, untitled Spider-Man movie, untitled Sony Spider-Man sequel. There's nothing really concrete for next year yet.
Yeah, we don't know anything right now.
I guess maybe Comic-Con will be when we find out what's coming next. I suspect Venom 2 is probably the one that's slated for October of 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still strongly feel like this is taking place right before, because it feels like they just won their contest in Washington in Homecoming, and maybe they're off to the world's competition, and that's why that you got that core team of students that are there still.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to Europe to do whatever. I don't know, and that's why I feel like that's where it's going to go.
And you could be definitely right, but it's just when I'm assuming that bus to Infinity War is Peter going to Europe, but it was interrupted by the whole plot of Infinity War. That maybe the school trip was rescheduled after everything was corrected, or it could be a timeline thing that it was course corrected in. I don't know. there's nothing you can say right now because we don't know anything.
No.
We just know Spider-Man's coming back. We just don't.
What's this thing I'm reading? Spider-Man Far From Home. This kicks off Marvel's Phase 4, and according to producer Amy Pascal, will start a few minutes after Avengers 4 wraps up as a story.
And see, that's what I've been hearing as well. Is that it's,
Kevin Feige would never. That's giving too much information, though. Kevin Feige would never.
That's true. Amy Pascal has gone on the record to say that Venom was in the MCU. She's not really a reliable source. So.
I don't even think she's the head of Sony anymore. So
no.
Yeah.
No. Wasn't she part of that whole email leak thing too?
Yeah,
I don't know of.
She was at Sony.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
And she was also like the head that pushed for that 2016 Ghostbuster movie. So that's all that needs to be said. So
she's a menace and needs to be stopped.
I mean, she was stopped.
Good. Now get me pictures of Spider-Man.
Get me a selfie, old man.
Moving on. Our last quick news topic. The 10 Cloverfield Lane director is going to be taking care of the Uncharted movie.
Well, for maybe a couple months. Yeah. Then he leaves. Let's be honest.
How do you pronounce his last name? Trachtenberg? Okay, so Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, is going to be directing the adaptation of the game Uncharted, which is starring Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I saw that was. Yeah, I still think it should be Nathan Fillion based on that. Was it 5 minutes?
I love Nathan Fillion more than anything, and he's too old.
I think that fan film was that's what we got as far as Nathan Fillion Uncharted movie. I think you have to do someone young for that movie.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Tom Holland kind of young is what's needed, but
yeah.
No, I think that would kind of surprise me. He's a little young, and I don't know, his look isn't really.
It's not rugged enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want kind of like a rugged, almost like a bit of a throwback to Indiana Jones or something, like someone who can be like a bit of a smart ass but hard, kind of tough as nails as well.
Like Chris Pratt, maybe.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. I mean, I would make him dinner and hang out with him.
I definitely think Chris Pratt or what's the other one? The other Captain America.
Chris Evans?
Yeah. I think one of those two would be more
I don't see Chris Evans.
Yeah, I don't really see it, to be honest.
Let's just give it to Ryan Reynolds.
Just give any role to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Nathan Fillion missed his flight to play Nathan Drake just based on his age.
Yeah,
that was a stretch, I know.
I think he was just born in the wrong year. He should have been born like 20 years later.
He should have.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to Mark Wahlberg. Put him back in the role.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do that.
So looks like we're going to be getting an Uncharted film, which
maybe,
I don't know. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of people have been asked, like, wanting an Uncharted film for a while. Like,
I really don't know why.
Seem to think that there's always been that let's make an Uncharted film, or there needs to be an Uncharted film.
Oh, it's been a long, like, before the Nathan Fillion fan movie, he was like photoshopped into a poster, and everyone thought that was a real like movie poster.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what kind of started it, I think. Well, not started, but that was kind of like the big wave where everyone's like, "Oh, Uncharted movie, yes, I need it," And then like everyone's like, "Oh, I need Nathan Fillion," and it's like, how many years ago was that? Like 5, maybe more.
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. Anything else, or should we move on to? We'll move on to the big topic on this episode.
Big topic.
Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry, real quick. I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. That was an awesome movie. It was just a little Hollywoody at points, but that was the movie that I saw that I couldn't think of. Anyway, sorry. I just Rami Malek was outstanding though. Definitely go check it out.
Cool.
Okay, let's get on to big number 2.
Yeah.
Big number 2. Let's hear it.
We've been cleared for topic 2.
Cool. Sure. So, so this past week, me and Steph got invited to a basically the event is called VRTO. It's a virtual reality meetup of sorts. They host a much larger keynote event later on in the year, but basically this was just a general meetup to bring media and VR enthusiasts to an event here just to check out some VR tech. Really the main point of this whole thing was because a company called Primax that kickstarted a campaign for developing a 8K and a 5K headset. They raised $4.23 million, and they just came off of CES, and they decided to come to Canada to kind of let people get their hands on it and check it out. So it was a pretty fun event. I don't know, Steph, did you have any like overall thoughts on what you saw there?
Yeah, so the headset itself, it looks extremely goofy.
Sure.
We shared it on Twitter. It's got this big like V thing on it that makes you look like a character from Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a RoboCop, like I don't know. It's a lot wider than
any other
headset, and that's because it's got I think a much wider FOV. I think they were saying it was 120.
It's 200 FOV diagonally.
Something like that, yeah. So that means it like comes around, kind of like wraps around your eyes. So like if you were to like look from the sides without moving your head, there's still screen there. So you don't have to train your eyes as much to like look straight ahead and then move your head, which is very different. The experience that Steve and I got to do, so we did get to try the 8K headsets. However, I felt that what they used to show the headsets didn't give it enough I don't know,
punch?
Like not enough punch, but like we couldn't really tell how much power these headsets had, because the experience we had, it was really cool. So what they've done is they put a little sphere.
It's a prayer bead.
Yeah,
it's a much larger prayer bead than most. I think that they said that it was about 5 inches. So picture something about like, I don't know, half the size of your hand, like your palm. It can fit in your palm.
Nice.
Yeah, so they put this through a scanner, and it has like all these different layers, and there's all these little wood carvings on the inside. So they've like blown up this tiny little sphere to be about 8 feet wide. And you can like walk through it, and you can like explode it into parts so you can see the different layers of it.
Yeah.
And it's got this big like hellscape, and then like Jesus in the background with his like apostles and everything, which is really cool. I love that VR. It can be used for education, and this is going to be in the museum, I believe.
Yeah, so this was all part of an exhibit at the AGO here in Toronto called Small Wonders. Basically taking items and that otherwise you can't are too expensive to take apart. So what they do is they CT scan it and they upload it, and then that's how you can like explode it, see all the different layers of it, and kind of put it in VR.
Yeah, it's just like really cool thing. But if you've got an 8K headset with like the 200 FOV and then like all this other stuff, like you want something that you can really just take it hard. Like something like Redout would have been amazing in this, or like I don't know, it's just something where, because if you can imagine anyone who's tried like the Oculus, and you're kind of stuck in the like Steam labs, like you've got the grid around it, almost when you have to do any calibrations, that's kind of what you felt like. And then there's just a big sphere, which is not that exciting to test things like your FOV and all this other stuff. I really wish they had given us something more like the Vive demo, which had like various different snippets, and it showed various different assets or like ways that the Vive could be used. So the Vive, it had this like drawing thing where you could draw and then like walk through all this stuff, and then it has like that big like underwater scene with the big whale. Like I remember trying the Vive demo and being blown away and just being like, holy crap, this thing is the most amazing thing I've ever experienced, and like I can't explain that to anyone else. And this one I was like thoroughly underwhelmed, and I don't think it was necessarily the headset. And again, a really cool application for VR. I just don't think it was the right one to display the strengths of your headset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to. You could put a gun to my head and ask me whether or not that demo was 1080 or in 8K. I couldn't tell you the difference. But the thing is that, yeah, you're right. If you're showing off a piece of tech that can run something a lot of other headsets can't, maybe you show something that would really push that headset to its limits. But that being said, I think one of the biggest takeaways, Steph, you and I were both talking about there, was how cool it is that applications are being made for stuff outside of gaming. I think gaming for VR is really limiting that tech. We were talking about like virtual tourism, and one of the things I talked about, I spoke to Kevin Henderson, which is the head of US sales for Primax, and he was talking about how important it is to focus on entertainment for these kinds of headsets, like a live sports arena, like to be sitting courtside at a basketball game, and instead of purchasing tickets to go there yourself and not really be courtside, you could be up in the nosebleeds. Rather, you could just pay a ticket and be courtside at a Raptors game or something like that. That's really cool in my opinion. Stuff like in space. How many people can really say that they go to space or something, right? That's really what. Sorry.
Astronauts.
Well, okay.
How
many of us? How many of us
okay.
can really say that? So I think that's really cool, and if you can do it in 8K, well, why not? That's just an experience like no other.
Yeah, I think they really should have shown like a movie or like, they're talking about scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know enough about the tech to see. It said it worked with and was compatible with Steam and
yes.
Oculus stuff, but well, I just realized I was talking about Vive earlier, the Vive demo, not the Oculus demo. My bad. But the I just wish they had shown something that was a little bit more interactive, or at least more impactful in, like, yes, it's really cool to see this ancient piece of history no one's seen before, but like you're trying to show your headset in the best light possible, and I feel they should have commissioned someone to do some kind of demo that was show more of its strengths.
Makes sense to me.
I think Steve's got some emergency vehicles in the background. I just saw him kind of mute his mic.
I mean, it wouldn't be Toronto if there wasn't an emergency going on.
That's true. That's very true. That is very true.
But yeah, I don't know. It was... I want to see more of it. I'm more curious to see more of it, that's all.
Yeah. I think another great takeaway was, the folks at VRTO, they obviously invited us out, and something that I never really even thought of was how there's this entire community built around developing, whether you're an enthusiast, developer, a manufacturer, they all come together and kind of just show off their stuff. We sat there and watched a talk from Priyam Givord, I believe that is his name. He was one of the designers for that Small Wonders exhibit at the AGO, and yeah, basically it's kind of like a VR book club. They all just like come together, they show off their tech, they show off their stuff, and just kind of chat about it. It's really cool, and something like I felt kind of like a fish out of water. Obviously coming from like predominantly like console gaming and everything, I was like, man, I don't know any of this stuff, but it's so cool to see people come together and kind of talk about that. I know that this was just like a general meetup, and then they do have their big conference later on this year. So for anyone listening or any one of us that are interested, I know that it runs from June 1st to the 3rd here in Toronto. So for any VR enthusiasts that kind of are interested in that, just keep an eye out because I think it's really cool what they're doing.
And the other thing is that we discussed is we were using Vive controllers.
Right.
With this headset, they do have they're making their own controllers. I don't think they're available just yet, but we were using the Vive controllers with it, and it worked very seamlessly with it. And
yeah, it was interesting. It was cool. So thanks VRTO for like inviting us out and everything. It's nice of them.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, shall we move on to topic 3?
Sure.
Do it.
All right, so our third topic, we got a little bit more news. This time it's video game related news. We've got 3 topics here. First one, looks like EA has canceled an open world Star Wars game. It was being developed by EA Vancouver. I don't think we really had much info, like even like anything, assets or really any screenshots or any gameplay or anything like that. But,
no, not really, because this was originally the Visceral Visceral's game, and they pretty much like scrapped it, just brought in some art assets at best. But like this news doesn't really surprise me. It just puts in the belief that this Star Wars deal that EA has to be scrapped at this point, because they're just like not doing a good service with the Star Wars IP.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it really is embarrassing. Like, the way they should do is what they're doing with Marvel games. Like they find out these awesome developers who have a vision they want to go for. Mm-hmm. Give them the keys to the kingdom and just go for it, because what they're doing, like, I have not played any of the EA Star Wars games. Battlefront didn't really interest me, because I like the Visceral game at least interested me, because like I wanted that single player Star Wars game. Yeah. In a way of like Star Wars 1313, which another canceled Star Wars game. So it's just like so disappointing.
I liked the first Battlefront, but Battlefront 2 and then everything they did with that. What we needed though is another X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Mm-hmm. I want another pod racing game.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Sorry, Josh.
Pod racing was good. Pod racing is a good one, Steph. And another Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah. Which they tried. They tried to do.
Yeah.
With online?
They BioWare was trying to do a third Knights of the Old Republic, but EA kept saying no.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Apparently,
anyways.
anyways.
Would, yeah.
This was the game that the one that was canceled. This was the one that was like really weirdly introduced to E3, right?
No,
that's the Fallen Empire. That's the Titanfall dev. Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
All I know is
that one's still in development.
In development, seemingly. Well, we'll see in a couple months.
We'll see. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting because I saw a thing on Reddit which was like amount of games that were released when they didn't have a exclusive deal, and it was like, I don't know, a huge chunk of like, let's say 15-20 games in a 5-year period, and then it's like under EA and there's only 2 games. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. I'm not like really much of a Star Wars fan. I know that's pretty like, I watched the new ones, but like, I'm sad for the fandom that they don't get more stuff. It does feel a little underutilized.
It also doesn't seem that hard to make a Star Wars game. Like, fans will just eat it up. Like the fact that the best Star Wars game I played since this deal happened is Beat Saber. Like that's pretty wrong. Like all you have to do is just give me pod racing, give me lightsaber action. Like it's really not that hard. From an idea standpoint, development's totally different. But it just seems so weird that they had Amy Hennig. What happened? Yeah, like I don't know.
Did Jade Raymond leave too?
Jade Raymond left. Like they could have had.
Man.
Yeah, they could have had a narrative Star Wars game on par with something like an Uncharted. That's all you need.
But Steve, single-player games don't sell well.
I beg to differ, Mr. EA.
I can't help but wonder what this is like in the background. You know, like with all the contracts, and I wonder if they're hitting limitations with them. You know, with Disney or whoever, like they don't want lore introduced into their IP.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're like hitting a lot of like roadblocks, and that makes it difficult. And then they just go, you know what, it's not worth the effort, and then they just scrap it because of that, not because it's like, like, you know, for any other reason. But I'm curious. Like I'd be really curious to know and see what's going on in the back end, because I know sometimes with these larger IPs, they can be very constrictive and just be like, yeah, no, you can't put that story in there. It's not canon. It's not lore. No, you know, like I'm curious. I would love to know.
Well, we did get the what is it, Force Unleashed games. Yeah, and I don't think they're considered canon.
No, but that was
before.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so really, in what 6 years of this deal, we've had one piece of story injected into the canon. And that was Battlefront 2, which was
again. I'm curious to know if it's because they're hitting roadblocks elsewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney and those guys there were being real heavy-handed about what they can and can't do as far from a story standpoint, and that's why maybe we've got to multiplayer, like predominantly multiplayer games in the last couple of years, right? Because they don't have to tell a story in that. Although they, like Steve said, they did give us a story that was considered to be acceptable in the world of Star Wars with Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I'm just so curious, like, if maybe they really had to fight tooth and nail, and they're like, you know what, it's not worth to fight that hard for that long, waste this many resources just to get that amount of story.
Nowhere. Just wasting their making money at that point, right?
But at the same time, when you're dealing with a contract like this, can you really afford to just say, we just won't do this one? Like, how many times can you do that before Disney's just going to say, all right, we're taking away the exclusivity from you guys. We're going to go somewhere else.
You know what, there would be a point, I think, in from a business perspective, where they'd be like, okay, so we've spent X number of millions of dollars on this game, on this concept, and they keep saying that we can't do it. There has to be a fish or cut bait type thing happen, and you got to either be able to move forward with it, or maybe it's just better to walk away and everyone shake hands and say, take care, good luck. Maybe we can work together again in the future on something else.
Yeah. Dude, Dennis, you brought it up, like just taking away the like just getting rid of the contract and go somewhere else. I still really want to see what Respawn does with Fallen Order. At the end of the day, I really hope that they get to, if Disney does decide, hey, we're gonna pull out, we're gonna take the Marvel Games route, I just hope that Respawn's able to finish their game, because I'd love to see what they're doing.
Maybe at E3 this year we'll see something like Steph said. Like, the way it was introduced was very random.
It was. Well, I also feel like it was. It was
making
like,
a Star Wars movie. Oh,
clearly because this other game they couldn't show anything, so they're like, what do we do? We have to scramble here. What can we do for anything Star Wars right now? Let's just interview what's his name in the audience.
Yeah, Vince looked like he was about to shit his pants too. I think he was like, "Wait, what?"
Huh?
I was napping.
Yeah.
So, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this franchise. So, but yeah, our next video game news topic: Ubisoft has apologized to gamers for the Assassin's Creed DLC controversy. Who wants to? Who kind of wants?
Oh, let Steph go with it.
Hey, Steph.
Yes. The
Spoiler
only
warning potential.
No, okay. Now that I know what
a courtesy, Josh.
Now that I know that what is a spoiler, and it's a big deal, I will try not to. But honestly, talking about the controversy kind of is a spoiler. So if you haven't played it, then maybe just mute for a little bit. But basically what happened is Ubisoft released this DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it forces your character in a certain route. And they had previously said romantically they weren't going to force the player to do anything that they didn't want to do. They could basically be free to do whatever they wanted. If you didn't want to do the romance things, then like you don't have to do the romance things. And then if you want to romance females, then that's cool. Go romance females. And if you want to go romance males, like you whatever. Be free, my children, is basically what they were saying. The DLC comes out and it forces you to not do that. Like it forces a romantic relationship and the other stuff. So a lot of people were mad and they were just like, you told me that I didn't have to do this. That was the whole premise before, like you sold us on, and I RP'd the whole thing as a lesbian or whatever. Like I didn't want to have a single relationship. Like I was playing it as, you know, this certain way, and now you're forcing me to break that, which was a little upsetting for players.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Which is like, I understand if you've got like a story and you're like, I need to like shoehorn my story. If you've got that vision from the get-go, maybe don't promise players things.
Yeah, that's basically where I come down on it. Before, like, it's a tricky little situation because yes, it does suck when you have the expectation that you're being represented in a certain way, or you have ideas that I've been, like you said, role-playing as this character for X amount of time, and then it kind of gets taken away. At a certain point, I was firmly standing on the point that at what point does allowing people to role-play interfere with your story? Ubisoft, as the creator and publisher of this game, they have every right to tell the story that they want to. But the fact that they did go on record and promise the audience, hey, we're never going to force you into a relationship with another character in the game. Yeah, you went on the record and said that. So coming back on it, that kind of sucks. So it's a little bit of a tricky scenario here. I mean, I see it from both angles. I do still want to hold or reserve all my judgment until the third episode comes out, because it does leave on a bit of a cliffhanger, and you're kind of you don't really have all the context to where the story's going by the end of the second DLC episode. So I don't know.
I just hope that they just don't decide to go ahead and like rework everything just to appease people. Like there's an overall story that they're trying to tell.
Yes. Yeah.
And I really don't think it's that important for me. I mean, obviously, I'm not one of the people that is upset about it. I think there are other things that get worked up over personally, but I just don't want to see them just for the sake of making everybody happy, because you're never going to changing the narrative dramatically in the next part, because I have a feeling I can see where they're maybe leading towards with this. So
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people are really that concerned about it, just go out, play the DLC, and then make your judgment based off everything in context, rather than seeing a headline and taking it away. Because I think that playing through the episode, you get a lot more context of the story that Ubisoft is trying to make, and I think that it's really important to have that in hindsight of all this controversy.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to our last video game news topic?
Do it.
All right. Who wants to take this one? Because I didn't actually watch or anything with the Mortal Kombat 11.
I can kind of go through it if you guys want.
Sure.
So Mortal Kombat, the guys at NetherRealm and Warner Brothers, they held their live stream and press event in LA, I believe, kind of just showing off gameplay, showing off the story, the characters, and really the mechanical changes that they've had since Mortal Kombat X. Based off like what we've seen in terms of like gameplay, it looks great. I don't think I've seen a Mortal Kombat game play this well. Just little like animations, like characters like feet coming off the ground when they're being like head, like it's just really down to like the details with NetherRealm, and I really appreciate it. It's gory as all hell. Like some of those fatalities, like holy
awesome.
It's so it's so good. One of the things that I kind of really appreciate is if you look at NetherRealm's other series, Injustice, their last one, they really opened up customization for all the players. So you can have a Batman with different suits and skins and kind of that. And they brought that to Mortal Kombat 11 as well. So now every character has 3 different like variations. And it's all about learning the variations because they all come with, it's kind of like Shadow Fighters in Smash. So they all have like small tweaks to them and everything. So it's about finding which one really suits your playstyle. In terms of the story elements, they basically just show like a small cinematic, and it picks up right off from Mortal Kombat X.
I thought they said it picks up after 9.
That's what Ed Boon said, and I think that was a mistake because after the trailer played, they're like, no, this is... The other guy that was on the stage said Mortal Kombat X, so I think that was just a flub.
Yeah, it must have been because like I was confused. I'm like, really 9? Why are they skipping 10? And then they showed him like that part was in 10 though.
10, yeah. So I think that was just a small flub there. You get a lot of time to see Dark Raiden, which was cool. I really think that the animation style is just wonderful in this game overall. And then they Sir?
No, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just gonna say, and then they showed like a roster of the game.
Yeah. Well, they also brought in a heavy hitter and a bit of a celebrity with
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey as officially becoming Sonya Blade.
Yeah.
The voice actor and definitely an appearance as well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Which is cool.
I love Ronda Rousey. She's great.
And then they showed off. Was it Geras or Geras? I can't remember.
Geras,
Geras, yeah. So he's like, surprises me that this game's coming to Switch.
It is.
Green Blood, though. Watch, it's coming
for sure.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? I mean, look at some of the other games
though.
coming. Yeah, they've got Doom. Doom doesn't have Green Blood.
And they have Wolfenstein.
I'm just messing around. Just because I grew up, I was like, woohoo! Mortal Kombat's coming to my console on Super
and then
Nintendo. Awesome. And then Green Blood. I'm like, what the hell? And then my friend's like, I got Real Blood on my Sega. I'm like, screw you, man. You're a dick.
Yeah.
I really like
look at how Sega's doing these days.
Hey, now.
Settle down. Settle down.
I'll fight you.
They got Yakuza, so that's the most important thing.
The event in general I thought was just really cool, and I think we're gonna see more things like this, not just for Mortal Kombat, which is like these big community events which are celebrating the community. They were showcasing like a bunch of cosplayers, and they had all these community members like in the room with them, and I think that's way cooler event to have than necessarily something big at, let's say, E3 or with Sony pulling out of E3. I think we're going to see more things like this where it's like direct from developer or publisher to fans, streaming it that way, and this more like intimate community gathering rather than these large events.
And not only that, but they can then hold it whenever they want. And
it's not like as big as a scale as BlizzCon.
Sure.
It's not a huge thing that happens every year. It's just like whenever they have something
to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought from a community standpoint, it was really cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
All right. It's time for our final waypoint of this episode. Dennis, take it away.
Yes. Next up is the video game releases of the week. These are the games coming out from the 21st through the 26th. So let's jump in. Starting on January 21st, I Hug You is coming to Nintendo Switch. On to January 22nd, At Sundown, Shots in the Dark is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Future Grind is coming to PC, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Sonar Beat is coming to PC, Android, and iOS. Coming to PS4 and PS Vita is Heroes Trials. Up next is the earlier mentioned Wonder Song. It's coming to PS4. On Nintendo Switch, the Raven Remastered is coming. And coming to PC and PS4 is Senran Kagura, Burst Renewal, A Fisherman's Tale, and the Hong Kong Massacre.
Man, will there ever be a time when we don't get a Senran Kagura game?
We can hope. I don't know. What is it?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Basically, it's
Look at those physics.
Well-endowed anime girls in various different genres of games.
This game looks like it's got some amazing plot.
It's got some assets, I'll give it that.
Holy jumping.
And I thought fitness boxing was jiggly.
All right, I'll retract my statement. Let's hope not. Let's hope that there's never a time when these don't come out.
This needs to come to more platforms.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see.
All right, so now that all the males on this podcast have had a nice tall drink of water and are no longer thirsty.
That's not true.
Not true at all.
Yeah.
No?
Your joke went over, so I'm just going to continue on to January 23rd. For the third time I've said this, Kingdom Hearts VR experience is coming to PS4.
But is it?
I don't know. This is probably the last time that they can have it listed before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, unless they delay Kingdom Hearts 3. You didn't think of that one, did you?
They better not. Because like the game was already leaked out, so.
Just saying, man. Anything's possible.
True. I know someone's got it.
Anyway, from leaks to PC. Coming to that platform only is At the Gates, Slay the Spire, Ratona, and Miasma Caves coming via Steam Early Access.
At the Gates is the designer of Civilization 5.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're working with them, and it totally looks like my jam. Slay the Spire. Oh, I guess it's leaving Early Access?
Yeah, it is.
I still have to check that out.
Coming to Xbox One only is The Walking Vegetables Radical Edition and Heroes Trials. On to January 24th, Jack Quest Tale of the Sword is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One is Life is Strange 2, Episode 2, Rules.
Nice.
Been a long burn for that one, eh?
Yeah. Super long. September was the last one?
Yeah, that's right. So it's been, a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
Coming to PC and Nintendo Switch is Pikuniku.
This one looks hilarious. I keep seeing on Devolver. You basically just like kick things. Like kick people, kick things. It looks hilarious.
Okay. Coming to Nintendo Switch only is #Kill All Zombies, Smite, Doodle God Evolution, Legrand Legacy Tale of the Fate Bounds, My Memory of Us, Octung Chululu Tactics, Curse Castilla, Astivine Hearts 2, Bad Dreams Coma, and Fish Universe Simulator. Coming to onto January 25th, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One is Resident Evil 2 remake.
Let's go.
Best one in the series, man.
I was just going to ask if that's the best one.
For me,
Yeah,
that was my favorite
yeah.
one for sure.
Yeah, the puzzles were so good in that game.
But it was just also it was Resident Evil just on a much grander scale too. Like they just like they made it so much bigger than the first one, and it was just such a big step up, like from a technical standpoint and storytelling. It was
it was cinematic too.
Awesome. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, even from the remake, because like the remake for Resident Evil, it was a good remake for what it did, but this is like a step up beyond of what you could imagine a Resident Evil game looks like on current generation.
Wow, I just pulled up the trailer. Like, this looks Just visually, this game looks unbelievable.
This is going to be outstanding. There was like a full rebuild of the game, which is really cool. Because I mean, when you go back to play Resident Evil 2 now, it's as big as it was back then. It feels a little. It didn't age well, and it's aggravating to play. So this is going to be great. I'm really pumped for this.
I played the 30-minute like one-shot demo, and they do like little changes even on the map just to make it run better. Like in the original, if you can remember the police station, you had to basically go through a large portion of the map just to hit the second floor. Right. In this one, they built stairs, so right off the bat you can go in once you have the keys and stuff. It's just stuff like that that makes the game just feel
little
like
improvements.
Better
fluidly.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I'm all in on that. Next weekend, forget about it. I'm done.
See ya.
Shit!
We won't see Josh for episode 20 for episode 40.
I'm in Montreal next weekend for kids karate tournament. I don't get to play.
Boo.
That's where you need to set up. Oh no, you've got crappy internet. I was gonna say there's a way that you could set it up so you could remote into your Xbox.
I know.
So you've got crappy internet, so
you chat your face.
All right, Dennis, let's bring it home.
Okay, coming to Nintendo Switch only is Nero. Nothing Ever Remains Obscure. Hero Trials and Flow Lines Versus. On to January 26th, the only Saturday game is Inops coming to Nintendo Switch. And those are the video game releases of the week. If you want to see the full list in written form, go to my blog, dennisbprice.wordpress.com, for all the releases in written form. Because, listening to my voice is, I don't know, maybe it gets annoying for you. So you can just read the...
Nails on a chalkboard.
that hurts, Matt.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Such a bully, Matthew.
I know, because I was the one that was getting beat up by bullies in school. So,
aren't we all?
Yeah, that's true. Well, awesome, Dennis. Thank you very much. That was actually a pretty good list.
Yeah.
That Nero, Nothing Ever Remains Obscure. I quickly pulled up the trailer. Looks really nice. I don't know what kind of gameplay it is.
They don't really show you much.
No, but that looked really interesting. So, well, it's time for us to egress out of this episode.
Goodbye.
Okay. See ya.
All right. That was sweet.
That wraps it up for this episode of Canadian Geekcast. Guys, if people wanted to connect with you online, where could they do so? Steph?
You can connect me anywhere at Maple Thistles. I am most active on Twitter, and come watch me grow my skyblock in Minecraft.
Nice. Steve?
You can find me on Twitter at svigvari.
And Josh?
You can find me on Twitter at Xbox Canada.
Cool. Dennis?
You can follow me at Hunter/13.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at ReggieFizaMeme. I'm actually going to be releasing and I hope it does well, a short audio series called Emperor Palpatine Enters the Workforce. And I don't know how I came up with this, but it's going to be like 2-minute, maybe 3-minute long episodes. And it's going to be as if what happens when Emperor Palpatine is no longer part of the Empire. So obviously it's totally canon. But yeah, I should have the first episode out soon. So, and you can also find us as a group on our Twitter, which is at Canadian Geek CST. We've also got our website, which is canadiangeekcst.wixsite.com/home, where you can find all our profiles as well as past episodes. And it looks like, because we have our YouTube account as well, if you go to YouTube and search Canadian Geekcast, you'll be able to find us. All our past episodes, including all of the live ones, they all get uploaded there. And as of this one, this is, I think, the first time we're going to have our live show on YouTube immediately. So, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So be sure to tune in to our episode next week, which is episode 40. We're going to have a special guest with us. We're going to have a guest host. So be sure to tune in for that one to find out who it is. What?
Nothing.
I'm very confused now.
I think one of us just found out about the guest host.
Really? We were talking about it in our group chat.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was actually like set in stone.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about have them on for episode 40.
Okay.
All right. See you later, guys.
There, but if it's
Okay,
there,
bye,
cool.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
What the fuck did I just... fuck did I just...